Sean Diddy Combs is currently facing a federal trial as prosecutors lay out disturbing allegations against the music mogul. Charged with racketeering, sex trafficking through force, fraud, or coercion, and transporting individuals for prostitution, Combs has entered a plea of not guilty to all charges. During opening statements on May 12th, lead prosecutor Emily Johnson painted a grim picture for the 12-member jury, warning them they would be exposed to graphic and unsettling evidence. Central to the case are the alleged freak-off parties, described as drug-fueled, multi-day sexual encounters involving multiple sex workers, orchestrated by Combs. According to a federal indictment filed in September 2024, these gatherings were not spontaneous, but highly organized events. The indictment describes them as elaborate, often choreographed sexual performances that Combs would personally oversee, sometimes filming the acts and masturbating during the encounters. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded, the court document reads. These sessions reportedly took place on a regular basis, often lasting several days, and involving a rotating roster of commercial sex workers, predominantly men, according to prosecutors. The government claims Combs used a combination of intimidation, physical force, and narcotics to coerce participation. Prosecutors allege the women and men involved were not only recruited under pressure, but also kept in a drug-induced state to ensure their compliance and submission. During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant, the indictment states. Recovery from these parties allegedly involved the administration of IV fluids to both Combs and the participants due to exhaustion and drug use. The level of coordination described is extensive. Prosecutors say Combs and his team were responsible for booking hotel suites, arranging travel for the sex workers, and paying them in cash. They also prepared the rooms with specific supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and specialized lighting. These items were reportedly found during law enforcement searches of Combs's residences in Los Angeles and Miami in March 2024. Law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, the indictment noted. One of the key witnesses in the case is Combs's former longtime girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. She took the stand on May 13th and testified about her involvement in the parties during her on-again, off-again relationship with Combs that spanned a decade. Ventura revealed that she was sometimes tasked with organizing the gatherings, including hiring escorts. She recounted her internal conflict and emotional turmoil over her participation, stating that she often acted out of fear of upsetting Combs. "I didn't want him to be upset or not trust me," she told the court, according to NBC News. "He was a scary person. He would be violent." Ventura went on to describe the emotional toll the experience took on her. "I felt pretty horrible about myself. I felt disgusting. I felt humiliated," she said. "I didn't have the words to show how horrible I felt. I couldn't talk to anyone about it." The defense, however, has painted a very different picture, arguing that the encounters were consensual and that the prosecution is mischaracterizing adult relationships and private behavior. They claim the individuals involved were not coerced, but willingly participated in the activities. Despite the defense's rebuttals, the prosecution remains firm in its stance that these were not consensual encounters, but calculated, exploitative acts orchestrated by Combs over several years. They allege a pattern of control, manipulation, and abuse masked by fame, wealth, and power. As the trial continues, more witnesses and evidence are expected to further detail the nature of Combs's alleged operations. The outcome of the case could have major implications, not only for the embattled music mogul's career, but also for broader conversations about abuse and power dynamics within the entertainment industry.